Hey guys, Chris from Rockford Ordnance. We are finishing up our AR-10 build and it's time to put an optic on it. Now when it came to choosing an optic for this rifle, I just haven't decided yet. You know, originally we were going to do a precision rifle build and I just got done with the AR-15 precision rifle and just wasn't feeling it. So wanted to do a short useful carbine, and that's kind of what we did here. So then I said, well, we're not going to go with, you know, a DMR scope. What are we going to do? And I've been kicking around a red dot, but I want kind of an intermediate rifle. I want to reach out a little more than a CQB, but not quite a DMR, right? So kicking around a red dot, then kicking around a red dot with a magnifier, then kicking around the prism scopes from Primary Arms. The 3-power is what I was thinking. It's a nice scope. I run that on my NPAP, if you guys have seen that video. Great scope, and that rifle is just so handy for everything, and I thought this would be kind of the same way. But everything from Primary Arms right now is back ordered till June. So I wanted to get this rifle, you know, start firing it and sighting it in and seeing how accurate it is and just testing it essentially while waiting for that. So I thought about taking another scope off one of my other rifles, and you know, that's a big pain. Then I got to resight that, and then also I found a sale today and I picked up from Vortex this Crossfire 2. Really inexpensive scope, but I was comparing it to a Leopold that was sitting next to it. They were both the same price, just under 200 bucks. And the glass, granted, they're both very inexpensive scopes, but for what they are, guys, they were really, really clear, really bright. The only thing with the Leopold, it was a 1-inch tube, and frankly, the eye relief and the actual just lining up with the tube was just a lot tougher on that. This was much more forgiving, and it has a red dot in the center of the crosshairs of the reticle. So, you know, you've seen all my other optics and all, and I go with fairly mid to high-end optics. This is really the first super low-end optic we've went with. And you know, no ACSS reticle or anything like that, but like I said, we're keeping it cheap on this because we're going to go a different route. So it was literally the last one they had in stock. I stopped in this place with no thought as to purchasing an optic, and then I saw this sitting there for $199 and thought, let's take a look. First of all, it's a 1x4. And it's smaller than the 1x6, which I kind of like. You know, you get into these AR-10s and they can be quite a heavy rifle. You know, there's always some thought toward aesthetics on a rifle. And I thought, well, this might look kind of teeny tiny on there, but it's certainly bigger than the Leopold I was looking at. And like I said, it's got the lighted reticle. Just a really nice scope. It's very simple. 1x4. It does have diopter adjustment here. 0 through 11 on the brightness for the red dot in the center of the crosshairs. Nice smooth, not too hard, not too easy adjustment on the power. Caps are typical, nothing outrageous. I was looking to see if there was battery storage in there, but doesn't look like it. Came with an extra battery, came with the covers, came with, now it's destroyed because it went on the garage floor, but came with a nice cloth and whatnot. So the usual stuff, right? So, give you a little showing there. Some nice coatings on the lenses. They look a little pinky. I wish I could show you this reticle. Maybe I'll figure out a way to, or post something, a picture of it. But I like the red dot because when we go down to 1 power, I essentially have a red dot, right? and when we go up to 4, I can reach out. Who knows? Maybe I'll run this thing on this rifle and love it. But I got a feeling that, you know, without the ACS reticle or some BDC, that maybe I'll end up going with a nicer scope. So we will see. Let's set this box aside here. And in the same fashion as the thought on the scope being inexpensive, so when I go to buy the other one, I don't feel bad about wasting a bunch of money. I can always put this on some cheap, whatever, other build or other gun I have. But keeping in that same tone, they had these UTGs there. So these were like 40 bucks or something like that. I don't know, they're probably along the lines of the base primary arms one that they sell. But I just grabbed it off the shelf. I saw 30 millimeter, boom, done. I grabbed it, didn't even look till I got home, and I started reading on the packaging here. And it's got a couple cool features that you don't see in other cantilever mounts like this. So it's 6035, I think, 6061 T6 aircraft aluminum. And a couple cool things. So look at the rings on the top here. They have lightning cuts in them, here, 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 here. Save some weight. They're hollowed out in the back here to save some weight, more lightning cuts. There's lightning cuts through the base, and it's really a light unit. Another nice thing they do, when you're mounting on a pick rail, right? Your cross bolts go through and they run in between the pick rail, right? Well, those bolts are round. Well, take a look at these. The bolts, they're Torx head, by the way, and instead of the round bolt going through, there's actually squares. So you see the rectangle square here, here, here? So there's a much tighter fit between the pick rails, so you're not going to get as much movement. It's going to be a lot more solid. Really a nice piece. They have radiused all the corners here, so if you've ever snagged it going into a case or on your chest rig or something like that, nothing. Cut your hand for that matter, I've done that. Nothing. Really nice. They spent the extra time to do a couple more cuts, probably in this case for at least 8, 9, 10, 11, probably 12 more cuts. That takes a lot of time. That means more money. And for under 50 bucks, guys, Now, it is made in China. I was a little disappointed by that, and let's face it, most of us think UTG and we think China, oh, that's junk stuff, right? Well, I had read an article or an ad somewhere, and they were talking about UTG and made in America and machined here and all of that. So I was a little put off by the made in China thing, but oh well. What are you gonna do, I guess, for 46 bucks? What do you expect? So I don't know with UTG if that's a certain line of theirs or what, but yeah, we're gonna see how this works out. We're gonna mount her up. We're gonna use our new Wheeler Engineering fat wrench, the torque wrench, to tighten everything down. If you haven't seen that video, check it out. Very useful tool for not a lot of money. So we're gonna get this set up on there. We'll come right back and we'll show you how this is gonna mount up. So guys, normally I would lap a set of scope rings and or a cantilever mount, but in the sake of time here, and since this is really not going to be this high-end budget thing, and it's not going to stay on the rifle too long, unless I run into an issue, we are not going to lap them. So I will bring you that in another episode if we so in fact choose to go that route. Just kind of mocking it up right now for eye relief, and I usually get pretty close off the bat, but this is going to have to go forward a little bit. I know how I am and how my eye relief is. And no, oh, Jesus, what am I doing here? Get your crap together. That should be good, right about there. Yeah, we can always move it one or two, so, but I'm usually right in front of the charging handle here, just a hair. So let's cinch this down a little bit. And you always want to push everything forward, guys, because recoil is going to push things back. So you don't want it mounted back, then the recoil gives it room to move forward. So always loosen this up. Give it a little push forward as you're snugging it down here. And we will come back with our torque wrench and torque these down, but we're just mocking it up for now. So there we go. I will come back and do that, and then we're going to check for level, and we'll go from there. Okay guys, so we used our little bubble levels and snugged them down, and things are as straight as can be. Now, keep in mind, sometimes some things can throw it off. Maybe a handguard or something is off a little bit. You can have stacking tolerance. One thing can be off and it throws it off. And in that case, this may not work just perfect. But 9 times out of 10, it gets me really, really close. Anyhow, we are snugged up. We need to be at 25 pounds on our fat wrench here. Excuse me, I've got to put on these magnificent looking glasses because my old eyes can't see worth a damn. Let's see, 25. There we go. Torx bit. When I snugged them down, I made sure we had equal gap on both sides. You'll want to do that. Let me just recheck. Yes, looks good. And we will do a cross pattern with our snugging down here until we get close to hitting our torque values. And there we are. Now keep in mind, when you tighten one, it loosens the other, or may leave the other one loose, I should say. And always bear in mind that depending on the type of rings you're using, they could pull the scope off to one side as you're tightening down. So when you're all said and done, you may take a look at those crosshairs and it pulled it way off level. So you never know what's going to happen until you look. But any decent set of rings should hold fairly decent if you snug evenly. And we're doing these 3 clicks. That's what Wheeler recommends with this, to click them 3 times and they'll be in after you get them snugged down. All right, that should do it. Here's the moment of truth. I always try to close my eyes, put the gun up, and see where the reticle lands. So we'll do that. Spot on. Spot on. I will recheck my level here. Keep in mind too, guys, sometimes these caps could be off, anything could be off, so it's by no means an absolute perfect deal. But yeah, like I said, it'll get you damn close. So we're gonna check. I'm still off a little there. Okay. Spot on as far as the levels go. Bubbles are centered. And we are good. Pretty cool for 150 bucks. The whole setup, lifetime warranty on the Vortex. UTG lifetime warranty on the base. Looks good. And not a bad view. Nice eye relief too. Yeah, nice eye relief. 1x4, and we're good to go. We'll see how she shoots. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Thanks for checking us out. We've got our range footage coming, and watch the video on the build of this and our parts selection. It's a pretty cool video. If I drop that one before this or after, you'll have to see, but it'll be out within a week of this video. And then we're heading to the range. So, as always, please like and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, guys. You make this channel great. I appreciate you, each and every one of you. And as always, Rockford Ordnance out.